Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Roberts. Our skies in the north could soon have a powerful new set of eyes watching over them. With growing concern about security and surveillance in the Arctic, Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada is considering buying a new fleet of airborne warning aircraft. The planes would be able to track activity on land, at sea, and in the air from as far away as 650 kilometers. Ashley Burke has more from Ottawa.
The Prime Minister promised Canada would stop spending so much money on military equipment made in the U.S. Now, the first example of that.
Canada has entered into negotiations to procure SAB's airborne early warning and control aircraft.
The government selecting Swedish company Saab over two American contenders.
It's a decision that we've made to diversify our military relationships.
Known as Global Eye, the Swedish technology is put into Canadian-made Bombardier planes. It's expected to be used to track incoming threats in the Arctic from hundreds of kilometers away, at a time when Canada is concerned about hypersonic and cruise missiles from Russia and China.
But this is a capability that will be quite novel.
The head of Saab says he plans to create 3,000 jobs building the Global Eye aircraft in Canada and selling them abroad too.
We need to build a hub in Canada to actually build these Global Eye airplanes because the demand in the market is substantial and we need to ramp up when we cannot deliver everything from Sweden. So this will be a new industrial setup for us in Canada.
The Bombardier planes contain American parts, making it unclear if this move will upset Donald Trump.
I think we've seen in the last year and a bit that the American administration finds lots of reasons to be unhappy about lots of things.
The U.S. has been clear what it will be unhappy about if Canada cuts back on buying all 88 American F-35 fighter jets and turns to Saab's Gripen instead. We asked the Prime Minister if today's announcement is a sign that the government will choose that same Swedish company for its fighter jets, but Mark Carney wouldn't say. He suggested they're still deciding what to do. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
The federal government has announced a deal to sell liquefied natural gas, or LNG, to Germany. The agreement will see a German utility company buy 1 million tons of LNG annually from the planned Silesums project in northwestern British Columbia.
This contract represents the first agreement that we see long-term, low-carbon LNG from Canada being shipped to our allies in Europe. A clear example of how we can not only support global energy security, reduce reliance on coercive actors like Russia, advance Indigenous leadership and equity, but also deliver on our promise to Canadians to diversify and expand our trade.
The $10 billion project already has regulatory approval, and this agreement moves it closer to final decisions from investors, followed by construction. The project has the support of the Niska Nation, on whose land the facility would sit, but environmental groups and other First Nations still oppose it. Energy Minister Tim Hodgson says LNG exports would begin in the early 2030s. Former Environment Minister Stephen Guilbeault has made it official. He is resigning as a member of Parliament and a member of the Liberal Party later this summer. His decision follows significant changes to federal climate policies under Prime Minister Mark Carney. Rafi Boudjikanian has more on the Quebec MP's departure and the impact it could have on Parliament Hill.
Stephen Guilbeault not looking back. The Liberals closing in on a deal with Alberta for a new pipeline was the last straw for the Green activist turned MP.
Like others, I was very disappointed with what was in there. I think it's a respectful disagreement with the Prime Minister and the government on how to approach climate change. I've heard some people say that we had a plan on paper before. I respectfully disagree with that.
He got good wishes from his leader who crossed the line he would not.
It's for him to make decisions about his career and the next stage of career. All aspects of all our careers, even journalists, even prime ministers, get to a point where things change and they make people make decisions. And I very much respect that.
As well as other MPs.
We worked together really well, and he became a friend quickly.
You know what? I really admire his principles. I really do. to stand up like that. Like, he understands that his principles don't align with the federal Liberal principles anymore.
But as someone who made his name with flashy protests like climbing the CN Tower for Greenpeace, even getting arrested, Guilbeault's path to politics was always unlikely. This climate activist group says his departure now is a bellwether for Canadian dissatisfaction with the Liberals' climate policies under Mark Carney.
The science does not negotiate, the atmosphere does not negotiate. We cannot be building more fossil fuel infrastructure that risks just furthering the climate crisis, but also furthering our economic dependence on an extremely costly and volatile fuel.
Guilbeault and 13 other Liberal MPs recently signed a letter to Carney about their dissatisfaction with his climate policies. The Prime Minister insists he can still reach net zero carbon emissions by 2050. Meanwhile, the Liberals, with this departure, face 4 by-elections sometime after this summer, testing their newfound majority in Parliament. Rafi Bujikani on CBC News, Ottawa.
Yukon RCMPs say they are growing increasingly concerned for the safety of a missing woman last seen nearly 2 weeks ago. Nasha Alana Wong was last seen May 14th, about 3 kilometers south of Elsa, Yukon, which is roughly 45 kilometers from Mayo. Police are now asking the public for help as the search continues. Chris McIntyre reports.
I spoke to Wong's aunt, Ezzy Wong Spence, in Toronto earlier today. She says the family is still in shock over the news of Wong's disappearance. Ezzy says they're hopeful that Wong will be found safe, but as time goes by, it is concerning. Ezzy's message for Wong is that she's loved and the family is waiting for her to come home. Local officials and search and rescue teams have been searching the area for Nasha Wong for the past 2 weeks. Search efforts to date have included the use of a police dog service team, helicopter support, ground search teams, as well as assistance from the Joint Rescue Coordination Center. Hecla Mining, a local mining company, also offered assistance with the ground search. The company's Director of Governmental Affairs says Wong was contracted by Summit Camps and worked at Hecla's Keno Hill mine. He says thoughts and prayers are with Nasha Wong's family and her friends. Wong was reported missing on May 15th. Wong is 51 years old with shoulder-length black hair. Police say she was last seen in blue jeans with a black vest, a black jacket with an orange zipper, and Blundstone boots. Anyone with information is asked to call the police. Chris McIntyre, CBC News, Dawson City.
The Northwest Territories Legislative Assembly is back in session today. And as MLAs return to the floor, one issue continues to hang over communities across the territory: concerns about lead in drinking water. On Tuesday, the Territory released lead testing results for Mackenzie Mountain School in Norman Wells. The results showed lead contamination was above maximum acceptable levels in some water fixtures. The amount of people seriously impacted is unclear, but the Territory's health minister did have some advice for anyone with concerns.
Parents who have concerns about their children's potential exposure from lead, or any employee that can be concerned with an exposure, that they would need to contact their local health provider and state that, and then they can have a health assessment with that. And based on that health assessment, you know, they may request lead testing.
Semler also says people with concerns can call 811. In October, the NWT launched a new lead testing protocol for drinking water in schools. That was prompted by earlier testing in 2025 that found elevated lead levels in water at 3 schools in Yellowknife. And the NWT Legislative Assembly has returned just ahead of a new Auditor General report, expected to once again scrutinize the Territory's Child and Family Services system. Previous reports have raised serious concerns about the care provided to children and youth, particularly Indigenous children. NWT Health Minister Lisa Semler says she will respond publicly once the report is released tomorrow. The last Auditor General review, released in 2018, found health authorities often failed to maintain required contact with children in temporary and permanent care. The future of one of Nunavut's biggest mines remains uncertain tonight. Baffinland Iron Mines has been granted more time to sort out billions of dollars in debt while under creditor protection. An Ontario court has extended the company's protection period until June 5th, preventing creditors from calling in loans or taking legal action as restructuring talks continue. Court documents show the company owes roughly $2.5 billion. The Kikitani Inuit Association and Nunavut Tungavik Incorporated say they are deeply concerned about what the uncertainty could mean for the roughly 300 Inuit employed at the Mary River mine. But both organizations say Inuit impact benefit agreements will remain in place even if ownership of the mine changes hands. After years of concern over low water levels, Iqaluit's reservoir is now sitting well above normal capacity. City officials say the strong water supply is welcome news for the capital, which has faced repeated shortages and conservation efforts in recent years. The CBC's Mahnur Mubarak has more.
A city councillor says water levels are looking good currently in the city's reservoir, which holds drinking water for residents.
We regularly have almost 2 full years worth of water now, whereas before we couldn't actually allow for new development in town because we were concerned about the amount of water that was in the reservoir.
It's typically filled by snowmelt and precipitation in the spring and summer, and has been supplemented with water from the Apex River, where levels can also vary. Recently, levels have gotten better, with a car wash ban being lifted last year after 7 years. But historically, the city has struggled with low water levels. In 2022, it had to declare a state of emergency. Shepherd said work to fix leaking pipes contributed to the higher stored water levels now. While levels at Lake Geraldine are currently high, work is still being done to build a new reservoir for the city as the population increases. The federal government first announced over $200 million of funding to help build the reservoir in 2022. It came after fuel was found in the city's water supply. The new reservoir would draw water from the Kikitalik Lake and the Apex River. Kevin Kerr is the Director of Engineering and Capital Projects with the city.
The big piece of the long-term water program is the construction of the new reservoir. We have 50% of the design completed.
Kerr says that most of the early construction will likely take place next year, with the reservoir expected to be completed as early as 2030. Mahnur Mubarak, CBC News, Iqaluit.
A correction to a story we aired yesterday about the future of policing in Nunavut. We said RCMP Commanding Officer Kent Pike arrived in Nunavut last December. In fact, he's been in the territory since 2022. While fire breaks are designed to help stop wildfires from reaching communities, the town of Fort Smith is now looking at other ways those cleared areas could be used year-round. About 30 people packed a community meeting Tuesday night to share ideas for how Fort Smith's fire breaks could be used beyond wildfire protection. Suggestions included installing solar panels near the airport and turning the cleared areas into trails that could double as skating paths in the winter. Researchers from Wilfrid Laurier University are in Fort Smith this week, gathering feedback from residents and local leaders.
There's so many things that can be done, and I think a lot of folks think that fire breaks are just empty spaces, but they can actually be so many different things. There can be recreation spaces, they can be a place to grow food, such as berries, but also agriculture projects.
Researchers are meeting with local leaders Wednesday to discuss the next steps. Johnston says once a pilot project is selected, work could begin as early as next summer. With wildfire season underway, crews across the Yukon are preparing for what could lie ahead. And that preparation includes a fleet of specialized aircraft designed to battle fires from the sky. CBC recently got a closer look inside one of Yukon Wildland Fire Management's air tankers at the Whitehorse Airport. And as you'll see, the plane had quite a career before taking on fires in the north.
They were built in the 50s as like a commercial passenger liner. They would have carried about 100 people or so.
So they were originally like somebody else's plane.
Yeah, so they've all been converted by Airspray, and all the tanking and all that has been engineered. And we'll go inside and you can have a look. Everything else has been stripped out of it, so there's like no seats anymore.
And it was kind of a high-tech machine of its day. It was quiet, it was fast, and they only lasted a short period because right around the same time the 727 came out, and people thought the turboprops were like a thing of the past. So they They didn't sell as much as they thought they would. It kind of went the other way after that, but it took them, it was a learning curve that they kind of failed with. So there was only 160 or so of them made. This machine itself was converted to a cargo machine. It's got the 2 big cargo doors, as you see. So it was in service up until about 25 years ago, like with hauling cargo in all kinds of different places. Because it doesn't sound quiet when you're sitting here, but it's actually, as an aircraft, compared to jet planes, it is quite a bit quieter. So it met the noise restrictions in Europe. So they were even flying them up until as late as 10 years ago. Not this machine, but other machines. As you can see, the inside looks very basic because everything's been stripped down.
So there's the pilot sits on the left, the co-pilot sits on the right, or the first officer. You can see it's all steam gauges, not a lot of digital controls.
So the bird dog aircraft is where the air TAC officer flies, and they go ahead and scout out the fire and they plan the mission, and then we come in with the tanker and we do what the air TAC officer is planning for a fire, whether it's suppression or to back up ground crews or to slow down a fire before a ground crew can get there. That's what the tanker does.
Filling up the tank in Whitehorse is costing drivers more than almost anywhere else in the country. New numbers show Whitehorse has one of Canada's highest consumer price indexes, driven in large part by the rising cost of diesel and gasoline. But despite those higher prices, many American RV tourists say they are still hitting the road and heading north. George Moratis reports.
Lisa Wildy did not expect to find the world's smallest desert in the Yukon.
I absolutely did not. I had no idea. It's been a nice journey. Canada was beautiful. I don't know what I thought Canada was going to be, but it was pretty.
Wildy is from Violet Hills, Kentucky. She's in the Yukon with her husband, Mike. The couple are part of a convoy made up of 37 Americans. Together, they are driving 18 RVs across parts of North America.
The rig holds 100 gallons of diesel. So we get 7 miles to the gallon. I don't know what that is, kilometers. I'm not good at that because I'm a stater.
The Wildy's trip comes as the price of fuel soars. Right now, regular gasoline is selling for almost $2.05 a liter in Whitehorse. Diesel is even more, selling for nearly $2.26 a liter. That's up 35 cents from this time last year.
It added probably $1,200 to $1,500 to our trip this year because of the jump in fuel prices.
Despite that, they're not letting it hamper their holiday.
Why have the RV if you're going to leave it parked all the time? You know, it's part of what you got to do to, go and see and do. We didn't like it. We were committed to this trip, and when the fuel price went up, we went, well, that's just a little more expense for us.
Patty and Tim O'Neill are also part of the convoy. The longtime RVers have traveled in this rig all the way from Nyack, New York.
We always wanted to do Alaska. We're big RVers. We've done 48 states we've traveled in. This was our last one because you can't get to Hawaii in the RV, so we wanted to get this one in.
They've been traveling across North America for the better part of 4 decades.
We started in the tent,
yep.
And then we went to the pop-up, then we had a used Class C, and now this is our second Class A model.
They say the high price of fuel isn't ideal, but
it's just when you have this rig and you have to plan that it's going to be that way. And then there are times when the price is good, so.
I did reach out to one Whitehorse-based RV rental store, and they said so far they haven't noticed a dip in customers. They say that could be because a lot of their clientele are from Europe, and comparatively, the price of fuel isn't that bad. George Moratis, CBC News, Whitehorse.
For people across the north, power outages can be pretty regular. But major changes could soon be coming to electrical grids. With billions in proposed federal infrastructure spending and projects like the Tulston hydro expansion moving forward, the way electricity is generated and shared across the NWT could look very different in the years ahead. So how does the Yellowknife power grid work right now? The CBC's Saloni Bugra found out. In February, Yellowknife had a nearly 4-hour-long power outage, the longest in about a year. But how does a power outage like that happen? And how is power restored when it's out? Well, let me explain the Yellowknife power grid.
This is the big picture. Electricity needs to be generated. Then someone needs to take that electricity and get it to you, the customer. In the NWT, 2 companies generate and supply power: Northwest Territories Power Corporation, or NTPC, and NACA Power Utilities. In Yellowknife, the NTPC is the one generating electricity, and NACA does the supplying. So how do they generate that power? At its peak, Yellowknife needs 34 megawatts of power. The primary source of power for Yellowknife is the Snare Hydro Plant. That's here, about 140 kilometers away from Yellowknife. These 6 turbines of 4 plants are the main source of electricity.
So as the water passes, like 1 liter or 1 gallon or 1 cubic meter of water passes through one of the plants, it hits the next plant, the next plant, and the next plant. So we utilize every piece of water 4 times as it runs through the entire hydro system along the Snare River system. So you can almost think of that as a battery. Like the water is a battery that's storing all that energy. There is only one transmission line that comes from Snare all the way to Yellowknife. So one singular source of power supply, and that's a single point of failure.
So if something goes wrong with that transmission line, how can they meet that demand? Well, let's go back to the map. If something goes wrong with the Snare Hydro Plant line, there's another hydro station about 40 kilometers from Yellowknife called Bluefish Hydro. Here, Bluefish has 2 hydro turbines totaling 6.6 megawatts of power. Then there's Jackfish. This is a diesel plant that can generate 26 megawatts of power, just short of the city's peak usage.
Site, a traditional yearly shutdown, or there has been an alarm or something that we have to deal with an issue at one of the hydro sites, then we would traditionally, seamlessly bring on a diesel genset. You wouldn't even know there would be a disruption of power in the city.
Think of this as demand and supply. If the city needs 28 megawatts, the Snare plant can supply that. But if the demand goes over, sources like Jackfish and Bluefish can pitch in. That's how power is generated. How does that get distributed? The NTPC brings all the generated electricity from the Snare Hydro site to the Jackfish substation here in Yellowknife. From the Jackfish substation, NACA takes over. NACA sends electricity to 3 stations: Niven, Bison, and Butler. So if you're in Yellowknife, your power comes from one of these substations. And if you think your friends are always getting their power back up before you, well, that's probably because they are. There is an order in which power is restored. Now let's talk about how the system can be disrupted, aka power outages.
It could be really windy and that could cause an issue. It could also cause lines to break, poles to break. If you get a big frost storm that comes through the area, it causes a lot of weight on the conductors. It can break things. So there's all sorts of different things. The biggest risk that we have right now is wildfire, as far as climate change.
The other common issue is wildlife. Here at Jackfish, they use these sounds to keep ravens away. But even with that, power outages can occur. So when something fails on one of the power lines, there's an automatic system to open the breakers. Those switches open to isolate the problem from the rest of the circuit, to save it from high voltage damage or short circuiting, exactly like the breakers in your home's electrical panel. They also trigger an alarm, so NTPC and NACA will be able to see where exactly the system faulted and investigate. And outages are important for public safety. For example, if you run into a power pole, the system would fault. If it doesn't...
Well, I guess ultimately there could be electrocution, there could be fire, there could be anything from an electrical source, right? The electrical energy would want to go to the nearest point that it could release its energy.
But sometimes there's a full system outage, like the recent one. Whenever there's an outage, both NTPC and NACA investigate whether it's a fault at one of the generators or at the distribution site. If the fault is at the Snare plant, NTPC can fire up diesel plants and provide electricity. When it comes to the recent outage, though, it was on the diesel side.
So the fault tripped everything. It was a full system outage because of this fault. And now it also prevents us from recovering with diesel because it's on this side. The operator at Snare has to go from plant to plant to plant to plant to go and reset these plants. So typically We can restore much quicker because we just fire up diesel and we come back with that. But that half of our system was basically taken out of the picture until we find the fault. So calling in electricians, getting them to dig into it, takes time to figure out exactly where the fault was located. And then, like you'd mentioned, coming back with hydro is a slow process.
Now, both NTPC and NACA test this independent power grid is efficient and reliable, but admit there are growing challenges, mostly due to climate change.
One of the primary things for climate change would be the extreme low water event that we just went through, right? Where the snare system didn't have the traditional amount of water it had in a normal water year, and we were quite restrained with the amount of water that we were able to push through the hydro sites. So as an offsetting value, we had to use diesel to offset that amount of energy that in a normal water year that's available from our snare hydro system.
NTPC also says it's getting harder for them to access winter roads to get to the snare plant. But recently the federal government said it will fund the expansion of the Tolson hydro plant, adding 60 megawatts of renewable energy. That plant will be connected to snare, and that could change how you might get your power in the future.
That was the CBC's Saloni Bukra. And that is Northbeat for tonight. For news anytime, go to cbc.ca/north. Thank you for watching. I'm Megan Roberts. Have a good night.